measurement of XD and XQ. The direct axis synchronous reactance can be measured by open circuit and short circuit test, right? But if you want to measure Q axis reactance, then we have to go with slip test. So from slip test, the values of XD and XQ both can be determined. Okay, and you can see from the circuit diagram that the synchronous machine is run by a separate prime mover, and prime mover in our lab case is DC motor. So DC motor is running giving the mechanical input to the machine, okay, whose speed is slightly different from the synchronous speed. That means the DC motor speed will be different from 1500 rpm. It can be greater than 1500 rpm or it can be less than 1500 rpm. Okay, the next part of the machine, you can see that the field winding, it is kept open. That means IF field current is equal to 0, right? If you see the armature part, you can see that 3-phase balanced positive sequence voltages are applied to armature terminal of fixed frequency, right? So if the frequency is fixed, the MMF which will be created by the armature of synchronous machine is going to be of fixed speed. If the frequency with which it is applied voltage is fixed 50 Hz, then the MMF which will be created by the armature terminal will also be fixed, right? That is 1500 rpm. So under this condition, the relative velocity between the field poles and the rotating armature MMF is equal to the difference between synchronous speed and the rotor speed, that is the slip speed, right? That is why this experiment is termed as slip test. There is difference in the speed of field pole and armature MMF, right? At one instant, when the peak of armature MMF wave is in the line of field poles or direct axis, the reluctance which is offered by the machine by the small air gap along the D axis, since the air gap is minimum, is small. After 1/4 of slip cycle, the peak of armature MMF wave acts on the interpolar axis or Q axis, which is shown by the second figure. The reluctance offered by the long air gap is maximum, right? The DC supply which is applied to the machine is constant, so there will be constant flux in the machine, right? So when the machine is along the D axis, that is when the armature MMF is along the pole axis, direct axis, then there is a minimum air gap, hence reluctance will also be minimum. That means the opposition which is applied on the air gap flux will be less, okay? So minimum current will be required to set up that air gap flux, okay, and the voltage will vary slightly. So the formula becomes CXD is equal to V max by I min. Why I min? Because small air gap along the D axis, so small current is required to set up the air gap flux since reluctance is very less, right? Next, when the machine is into the interpolar axis or quadrature axis, then the air gap is large, right? So reluctance will be large, right? So large current will be required to set up that flux in the air gap, okay? So voltage drop will be more. So see the formula, XQ is equal to V min by I max. Why I max? Because larger current will be required to set up the flux in the air gap because of larger air gap. Okay, and numerator it will be V min, right? You can see in the waveform that when the armature MMF wave is along the direct axis, the armature flux passing through the open field winding is maximum. Therefore, the induced field EMF along D axis, that is d phi by dt, is 0. The D axis therefore can be determined where the induced EMF, see this is the induced EMF waveform, where the induced EMF in the field winding is 0, that is the D axis. That means this line is the D axis. Okay. For Q axis, the armature flux linking the field winding is 0. Therefore, the induced field EMF d phi by dt is maximum. Right? So, wherever we find that the induced EMF in the field winding is maximum, then that axis is the Q axis. Okay, that means when induced EMF is 0, that is the D axis, and when the induced EMF is maximum, that is the Q axis. This is D axis and this is Q axis likewise. As we have discussed the formula, if this is the D axis, then you can see this is the signal of armature terminal and this is the signal of armature current. So along the D axis, the voltage is maximum but the current is minimum. See the profile, the voltage is maximum and current is minimum. And for Q axis, the current is required larger to set up the flux in the air gap because of longer air gap. So you can see the current profile is maximum and the voltage profile is less as compared to current, right? So it goes on the profile. We'll go with the practical aspect, how to determine XD and XQ, right? So this is the circuit diagram. DC motor coupled with synchronous machine and field winding is open, right? Armature we are giving a balanced 3-phase AC supply of fixed frequency. Okay, so with this let us see the circuit connection. So this is the DC motor panel, right? DC motor with DC supply starter terminal, and this is the armature part of DC motor and field part. Okay, in the field part we have connected a rheostat and its position is minimum, right, as we have discussed earlier also. And this is alternator, armature panel R, Y, B and N, right, and this is the 3-phase AC supply of balanced voltages, right. So this 3-phase AC supply through dimmerstat, we are giving this 3-phase balance supply to dimmerstat, and through dimmerstat, through reading meters, we are connecting it to armature terminal. Okay, you can see the R phase of output of dimmerstat through ammeter, it is connected to R of armature of alternator. Okay, then this is connected to Y phase, and third terminal of dimmerstat is connected to B phase, and neutral is connected to neutral. There is no need because we are working at very less voltage. We have connected the neutral of machine with one of the phase for reading out the voltage per phase value of alternator, right. And you can see that the field winding part is kept open. We are not giving any DC excitation to field winding. Okay, that means IF is 0. We can have voltage on it, but the current is 0. We will have induced EMF, but current is 0, right. So these are all the connection observation. As we have discussed that the field winding will be open, right. We are not going to give any DC excitation to field part of alternator, but definitely we need DC supply for DC motor, which is a prime mover in our case, right. So we'll on the DC supply on the starter and we will give 3-phase supply to alternator. Okay, so this is the sequence how we are going to connect the machines. So I am on the DC motor with the help of starter, right, and immediately I will give AC supply to alternator, right. The voltage has to be reduced, okay, just 25% of rated value. 440 volt is the rating of the machine, so we have connected just 75 volt to the machine terminal. It is just 75 volt, right, reduced voltage. So with the help of thermostat, I am giving the voltage, and for example I am giving up to 35 volt. Okay, so now we'll try to maintain the slip between the two parts. Alternator armature is fixed with synchronous speed, okay, and yes, speed is
1456. 1412.
1412.
1478.
1478 is the speed, right? Now we see the meter readings now. These are the meter readings, right? Ammeter and voltmeter. So it is the minimum scale is 1.6 and maximum it is going to 2.25 2.3. So minimum current, maximum current is 2.3 and minimum was 1.6. Voltage, minimum voltage is 37.5 and maximum is 38. Maximum is 38. So 38 and 37.5, speed was 1478. 82, sorry, 1482 RPM, right? So this is when the speed is less than 1500 RPM. We'll take one more set for same voltage, but the speed is going to be higher than synchronous speed, above 1500, right? 1518, right? These are the recordings. Okay, current is again 1.9 minimum and maximum it is 2.2. 1.9 and 2.2, right? Voltage swing is very less. It is 36 and 37.5. 36 and 37.5. 36 and 37.5, right? This is one set. We'll take one more set with one speed less than synchronous speed and one with higher. We'll increase the voltage now. Okay, we'll increase the voltage. You can see we have increased the voltage, but you can see the meters were swinging and then they came at to halt position because as the reluctance torque due to saliency, the rotor part will try to catch the another part and they will come into synchronism. So because of that, both the part are running at same speed. That is why you can see both the parts are running at same speed and the observation is only along the D axis. So this is D axis reactance which we are getting. Okay, so again we have to work at the rheostat of DC motor and we have to change the speed, right?
2. एक मिनट 1480.
1480. 1480, right? 1480. These are the swing in the meters. Okay, ammeter is 2.1, 2.3, and maximum is 3.4. 2.3 to 3.4. 2.3 to 3.4. Okay, ammeter is swinging nicely. Voltmeter has less swing as compared to ammeter, so it is 52.5, 52, and maximum is 54. 52 and maximum is 54. Okay, so for same voltage, reduced voltage which we have applied across the armature, will go for higher speed, above synchronous speed. Okay, for same set, right?
1520.
1520, right? And these are the swing in the meters. Ammeter is going 2.4 and maximum it is going 3.4. 2.4 and 3.4. 2.4 and 3.4, right? Voltage, it is 50.5 to 53, right? 50.5 to 53. 50.5 to 53, right? Yes, so as we have discussed that there has to be relative speed between stator and rotor, and we have tried to maintain the slip. Okay, there has to be relative velocity. We have to make the readings fast, because as the reluctance torque due to saliency, one part will try to catch the another part. Okay, and the slip has to be very less. Okay, now if you are saying that if the rated speed is 1500, then keep this slip of just 20 to 30 rpm. Don't go beyond that, because if you are having higher slip, then the reluctance torque will be higher. Okay, and your recordings will be incorrect in that case. Okay, so you have to take that care. About the calculation, XD as it has been discussed earlier, it is Vmax by I min, right? Because air gap is less, so minimum current will be required to set up the air gap flux, right? So you can have this Vmax is 38 and I min is 1.6. So you can calculate XD for this set, right? Similarly, you can calculate XD for this another set. Okay, and how to calculate XQ then? XQ will be equal to Vmin by Imax. Okay, Vmin by Imax. Why Imax? Because air gap is large, reluctance will be large, so large current from armature will be required to set up the air gap flux. Okay, so in that case the voltage drop will be higher, right? So Vmin, what is Vmin? Vmin is 37.5. 37, this is 23.75. Okay, this is 37.5 by Imax, which is 2.3. So that comes out to be 37.5 divided by 2.3. That is 16.30. Okay, so similarly you calculate XD and XQ here, then XD and XQ here. Okay, and you calculate the ratio. Okay, you can have the average here. First calculate the average of XD, XQ, and have the average of XD by XQ, right? So this is the way how you have to make the reading. What are the precautions? Field winding is open. There is no participation of field current for calculating DXs and QXs reactance, right? First point. Second point, you have to maintain minimum slip. Third point is you have to apply reduced voltage. If you are applying higher voltage, then the reluctance torque will be higher and machine will come into synchronism and you will be unable to capture the recordings. Okay, so with all this precautions, you have to handle the experiment. Thank you.